Well met, everyone. This is the Angry Chicken, the podcast about Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft, episode 92 to be specific. I am Garrett Weinzierl, and with me as always is Willie Dills Gregory and Jocelyn Moffat. Welcome back, guys, and, well, guy and lady. You're guys. You're guys.
No, we're guys. Yeah. I'm guys. It's good.
We're sexless co-hosts.
Welcome back, non-gender specific friends of mine.
Garrett, don't trigger me.
Don't what?
Don't you dare trigger me.
Trigger you?
Never mind.
Is that a thing? Is that a trigger in Hearthstone that I'm not aware of?
No, never mind.
No.
Moving on.
Yeah.
That's so over my head.
Yep.
So over
It's
my
all right.
head.
That's a good thing, actually.
Okay.
That's a good thing,
I
Garrett.
feel like ignorance is bliss in whatever it is that you are referencing.
Probably.
Yep.
Well, that's good to hear. How are you guys doing? Because I am like in this weird haze, guys. I just spent the last 3 hours gluing two pieces of paper together 54 times.
Wow. Only 54 times?
Well, I did half and Katie did half to make our 108 freaking wedding invitations.
That's
Sounds
a
like
lot
a party.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping half of those don't come and just send us gifts. That would be
Okay.
That would be the preferable and family.
Well, here's how you get them
I-
not to come. You just don't invite them in the first place.
Oh,
and then you have way less invitations to do.
You know,
But then
It's
you
a
don't
good
get the
system.
present.
I guess.
You know, I had that thought, and then I got my mother involved. And Mom,
Ah.
I know you do sometimes listen, and I love you to death, but your guest list edition was just ridiculous. So, yeah.
Like people you don't even know. You got like third cousins coming in. Yeah.
I guess it's family politics. I didn't know this was a thing outside of Game of Thrones, but your mom's
Kind of
just
a
like,
thing.
listen, Garrett, this is how it goes. We sent all of these people wedding gifts for their weddings, and we didn't go, so they better not come to yours and eat our food, but still send you gifts. All right. And
It is weird. It's a weird thing. I don't understand the whole honestly, people are getting married. Why we got to get you something? I don't know. I don't understand this. How did all this start? Because I remember I was married once and I felt weird. I was like, wait, we just go onto this thing and we just tell people what we want, and then they get it for us.
Yeah, I went into
Why?
I went into Bed Bath & Beyond on Saturday. Spent probably more time than I have ever spent in any store ever, including IKEA.
Sure.
Including
Did you do the little
IKEA.
thing where you had like a gun and
Yeah.
you just like
I was
Yeah,
going to say, did you get the scanner
I'm
thingy?
walking around just scanning everything, and I wasn't excited because, guys, I've worked in retail before. It's not that cool. Everyone needs to calm down. Every single person so far is like, oh, you're getting married. You got to go and use a laser gun. I'm like, I worked at Target. It's not that fancy.
Yeah, you're like, I don't care about the laser gun, man. I've used my laser guns in the past.
Yeah.
It's not that cool.
Yeah. You know what?
But I think it's cool when it's like, ooh, I'm like shopping without spending money. Like I will
Yeah.
one day have this and this
but it's-
and this and this.
But it's a wedding registry, so you're kind of, it's like, I hope someone gets this for me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
always,
going to lie. Dude, I'm getting you dollars because I'm not
Thank
bagging
you.
something on a
There you
plane.
go.
I'm
That's-
just getting you dollars.
That is
I think that's the best gift you
exactly
can get.
what we would like folks to do, because it's like, hey guys, this was expensive. It would be nice to just break even. Thanks. Thanks. That'd be wonderful. We have
Just do it
pots
like
and
an
pans.
Italian mobster and just like an envelope with some cash. Here you go.
Exactly. All Italians do that. It's not just mobsters. That's an Italian wedding. Is just envelopes upon envelopes of cash. I grew up with a lot of Italians.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad you've
Very
gotten
nice.
past the initial first phase, which is like the most annoying part, is all this logistical stuff. Like get through all this, you'll have a good time, man.
Yeah. I was excited about the food part. We've gotten food squared away, and it's delicious, and I can't wait to eat it.
Taste a lot of cakes. It's great. Yeah.
We haven't done desserts yet, but actual feeding people is done and taken care of. So, anyways,
Joss is giving away some for 1% money. There you go.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I have almost no. She's the 1%
1%er.
of Hearthstone, which means she's not the 1% of Real World because she spent all her money in Hearthstone to become the 1%.
Oh yeah, and now
Exactly.
now back to the 99% in real
Yeah.
life for you. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. I feel like there's a joke here, like there's no 1% in Canada or something.
Well, socialized. It's a socialized country, right?
socialist,
So they
yeah,
share the
yeah,
wealth.
exactly.
Yeah,
We're
they're
like
all the
communists
100%
and-
in
yeah.
Canada.
Yes, Canada.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Canada, as we are taught in school, and it is correct, are 100% a communist nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right?
That's why there's so
But
much
I'm
red on
moving
our
there
flag.
as soon as I disagree with something that happens in America. That's where
Yeah.
I'm moving.
That's where you're moving. Regardless of which side of the political fence you land on,
Yeah.
both parties are like, oh, I don't like this. I'm moving to Canada. It's like,
Moving to
aren't you-
Canada. Yeah.
Aren't you part of
Thanks for being there for us, Canada. Whenever we
No
get
problem.
pissed at ourselves.
Do you guys hear that and
Always
just
rely
go,
on you.
no, we don't. You can stay there. We don't need you. You seem wishy-washy. Thanks. But what a delightful start to this week's episode.
I agree.
I mean, we talked about weddings. We talked about politics. Would anyone like to do, I don't know, religion or something else?
I think we
Not
should get to the Hearthstone,
particularly.
man.
I think we
Let's
should get to the
Yeah.
Hearthstone too, which of course, as usually, starts with way too many announcements at the top of the show.
Sure.
Right?
Do it.
First of which is that we are doing our patron call-in for the month of July, actually tomorrow. Now, if you are a patron, the post has been up since last week, but I'm actually going to be out of town next week, and then the following week, both Jocelyn and I will be traveling because of Nerdtacular. So we're doing the patron call-in episode tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you were listening to this on podcast the day it came out, it is tonight. Tune into twitch.tv/AMOTV, and all of the information is over at patreon.com/TAC for you delightful patrons. Looking forward to that. Always a good time.
It's gonna be fun.
It will be. It will be. And then also, since I will be out of town next week, and Dills, you are moving.
Yes. Well, not next week, but I've got things
You're
to put in boxes.
moving
Boxes
prep.
to put in cars.
Yeah,
Cars to drive to other places.
You're like tailgating for your move, basically.
Yeah.
is
Well,
what's happening.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
got a lot of stuff, man.
So
So get it all out of here someday.
Yeah. So since that's happening, you and I will not be here next week, which means Jocelyn is here to do a girl power episode of The Angry Chicken with Karma, who will be returning to co-host with her. This will be really cool. I am very excited to listen to The Angry Chicken on Tuesday while I'm out of town, as just a fan. It'll be fun. That'll be fun.
I'm really, really looking forward to it. We had a lot of really positive feedback last time Karma was on the show, so it's going to be a really great time. Probably a shorter episode. There's not going to be a whole lot of news to talk about, so I'm going to put the call out right now. If you guys have questions that you want Karma to answer, then send them in, because we're probably going to do more emails than normal next week.
There you go.
Sweet.
Get
You're
them
gonna
in.
do emails, and you're gonna try on each other's clothes, and
Oh,
girl
totally.
stuff.
Yeah, do our hair and our nails. I'll just sit here and paint my nails on stream. I know it's really, really entertaining, guys, and I want to give you all the tips I possibly can.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. I'm gonna send in an email to tacpodcast@gmail.com afterwards. Angry, no matter what you guys talk about. I know I will be angered. So
If you're doing fashion and hair, I really want to be involved. Could you wait a week? Because that sounds really fun. Really
I
Gary
don't
wants
know.
in on that.
All the hair tips I have are for really, really long hair. I don't actually know what to do with that.
it's like hair tips. Put some blue in it.
Winning, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You did not miss lethal with that hair.
Are you saying that her hair kills you? Because that's kind of mean.
Correct.
That's a little mean, Dills. I'm just gonna point that out. Also, you mentioned this last week at the end of the show, Dills, but we have
Yeah.
we have
preemptively, but
we have an official schedule. The Angry Chicken are heading to Youngwoo's stream over at twitch.tv/cataclysm78.
he changed it.
Yeah. No,
Well, he changed his Twitter.
changed his
I guess
Twitter.
He hasn't changed
Yeah.
his Twitch.
yeah, he changed his
Twitch
Twitter,
interesting.
which makes me sad because I finally remembered how to spell Cataclysm78. And he went and changed it. Darn you, Youngwoo, shakes fist through the
Yeah, but he
internet. at you.
credited it to us. So results.
He did, and I have people yelling at me for making Youngwoo change his Twitter handle. I have people saying that I have not used our power wisely.
I think we did a good job here. Now, if you're someone who doesn't know to look for Cataclysm, and you're like, all right, let me find this Young Woo guy. You got a pretty good shot now. This is YWoo_dev. Very this is
Very official.
yeah,
Professional.
sure.
Yeah, but nonetheless, that's not the exciting part. The exciting part is we're going to be going on a stream to throw down against Mr. Woo. And so, Dills, you're going to be on this Saturday
Yes, correct.
at 2 p.m. Pacific, correct?
That is right. Yeah.
Alrighty, and then I'm going to be on the following Saturday, July 25th at 2 p.m. Pacific, and then
2 p.m. specific.
2 weeks after that, Jocelyn, you're going to be on. Actually, it's the weekend after Nertacular, which is why there's a gap. On August 8th, you're going to be final boss mode Jocelyn.
I'm really, really excited.
So when Youngwoo takes us out at the kneecaps, you better represent Jocelyn and
oh yeah,
and
you guys will
crush
have to
him.
give me all the tips.
And make sure that you get him to agree that if you win, he has to make a competitive limited Hearthstone a thing in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Please make sure that he wagers that.
Really? You're going to hang that on
and
me?
that- yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's up to you.
So when
Okay.
the Argent tournament gets announced and that's not a feature, I can blame you instead of Team 5, which I'm sure the folks over at Team 5 would be really relieved to have someone else blamed.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure that announcement is coming way before I go on that stream. So
No, it's okay. I'm gonna just
win or lose, it's not my fault.
I'm gonna tie in time travel and say that because you didn't beat him in the future, that we didn't get that announcement in the past.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we got a time continuum going on there. It'd be nice. So, again, July 18th, July 25th, and August 8th on Youngwoo's Twitch channel. Go check it out. We'll be thrown down. I'm probably going to lose. It'll be fun.
Oh, I'm totally going to lose, but it's going to be a blast.
So, anyways, how'd you guys like Brawl this week before we get into the news?
Loved it.
This was the best Brawl so far.
I had a
for sure.
really
It
fun
was.
time. This was stupid fun. This was exactly what I think Brawl should be, which is, quote, stupid fun. It should say Tavern Brawl _ stupid fun.
Yeah. Well, this was the randomness without just completely like it's the spiders didn't really grab me because it literally just felt like playing coin flip. This felt like, oh, let's think of stuff and do cool stuff with it. Mm-hmm. And then there's still like, so even if I was just queuing on like the quote unquote ladder, there was some strategy and some classes were better. Some spells weren't very good. You could even like put in some minions that dealt with things pretty well, and there's a lot of cool things that a lot of really fun little, and because the minion came out before the spell actually activated, you got a lot of fun interactions that way as well. So like if a pyromancer came out, it would blow up and hit everything, or if an auctioneer came out, you would draw a card and all that kind of stuff. So I really enjoyed this one. I played it a lot more than any other ones for sure.
I liked this more than I think I would like a fully unstable portal deck, because the unstable portal is going to have the same sort of problem that the web spinners have, in that it's completely totally random. At least with this one, where you're building your deck, you can actually like make a curve because you're picking all your spells and how many of each you have and everything else. So it gave you the ability to control the random a little bit more and make it just generally a more consistent, more enjoyable experime.
Yeah.
I like to think
there's some cool stuff where you could control the randomness, like you said. Like there's not a lot of 9-cost dudes out there, right? So like Tree of Life was like finally like Pyroblast Deathwing.
Pyroblast Deathwing.
Or mind control their thing and make a Deathwing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think that this is a direct result of you just constantly campaigning for unstable portal decks, Jocelyn. that Team 5 just heard that and we're like, well, actually, we can do you one better. We can one up your okay idea. Let's show you how
I will totally take credit for this, because this brawl was so much fun, and we were playing on Friday night, and I ended up staying up streaming an extra like 2 or 3 hours because people were just like, brawl me, and I was like, okay, one more, okay, I've got to go to sleep, guys, but one more, okay. Like it just kept going and going and going, because it's so much fun.
Yeah, it was a good.
I think there was some definite winners and losers though in this week's brawl. Yeah. Priest, Mage, and Druid were like Druid like above everybody. Druid was just insane because you're constantly popping out minions, and then guess what? You have a bunch of minions for your combo. Yeah, Druid was pretty sick. Mage, of course, was good because Mage just has a lot of spells, and the spells are removal. So you were removing their dudes while making your own guys the entire time, which is pretty good. And then Priest has like a decent curve of spells. Like I didn't even really realize that a lot of the spells are crap. But
I got in and everyone was like, Paladin. I'm like, cool, this sounds great. And I tried out. I'm like, there's like nothing but one cost spells in here, guys. What are you smoking?
Paladin's rough because your biggest spell is Lay on Hands, right? And all you're doing with that is drawing more spells and healing yourself. But if you think about what Priest is doing with their big spell, Mind Control, and what Mage is doing with Pyroblast, it's just not even close.
Yeah,
So.
no, you are absolutely right. I will say the one that surprised me the most, and if folks go watch Jocelyn and I's brawl against each other from last week, they'll see this, was Rogue. I had a really good time with Rogue.
Yeah, Rogue's
was
okay
really
too.
good.
Yeah.
I tried
Think about like sprint and stuff like that is awesome, and then of course you just have a ton of removal as well.
The thing that that was surprisingly sad though is if you say use preparation. The minion cost. You get a smaller
less
minion because you spent less mana.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Yeah, I initially thought Lotheb was going to be awesome, and then like people were casting spells and just creating giant minions
I'm like,
against me. I was like, never mind.
This is the first time in the history of
That
this
was a bad
game
idea.
that Lotheb has been bad.
Yeah, but
And
it was really
actually a
good.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
that was actually a really good point, is that a lot of the cards that we use like all the time, like Mad Scientist and Lotheb, were actually like really no good. Like no one was playing them because Mad Scientist gives you a secret for free. Well, you don't want your secret for free. You want your secret plus a minion.
You don't pay for it. Yeah.
Exactly. You want to pay for it. And same with Lotheb. Like you don't want your opponent to be able to get that extra 5 mana creature out there. So yeah, it was really interesting to see some of the ways that the decks were built without those, what we've come to see as really key cards.
Yeah. The game slowed down a lot with this one. So like, when we had the bananas, everything got really fast and everyone was just super aggro. And this slowed things down quite a bit because everyone was playing so much removal that, because that's all that's in your deck, right? It's just spells, and spells are generally removal spells. So you actually like got pretty deep in games and ended up playing kind of a longer game. And so that made things really interesting, and also made it so that I found that certain cards, I was putting in creatures. A lot of people were putting in no creatures at all. But I was putting in Mind Control tech because everybody always had a ton of minions, and you could steal minions with Mind Control tech, and that was pretty good. A Big Game Hunter because invariably at some point you would get a target. And then I was putting in a Trogzor. Trogzor was so good against everybody because sure they have removal, but they're going to still give you a 3/5, and then that 3/5 grows with all their spells too. So it was Trogzor was king. I was murdering people with Trogzor.
I wish
Finally
I had
had his day in the sun.
I wish I had him for brawls.
Yeah.
That's weird.
This
wanting a legendary minion just for Tavern Brawl. It's a strange feeling, but
Sure.
I'm totally
They
having it.
craft Trogzor just for like
4
days.
days.
Yeah.
He's really good this week, guys. I know I already got my 1 free pack, but I just want to decimate fools.
Yeah. Yeah. So Plurbine makes a good point in the chat that creatures are tough because you're everything else you're playing is essentially doing 2 things. You're essentially playing 2 cards every single time. And when you're playing a creature, you need to play something that actually does something that's worth the value of playing. So spending 7 mana on Trogzor to just play him might seem crappy, but if you then say that, okay, that's actually, like, Lotheb doesn't take away the other guy's ability to use spells, makes them cost more, give them a bigger minion. Trogzor actually kind of takes away their ability to use spells, so he was worth it to me. And then Mind Control tech, there's sometimes a board would just get out of hand against you, and that was like the only way I could come back.
Yeah.
With something like that. So, especially with just poor Warlock. Did you guys try Warlock?
Yes.
Oh, they were so bad.
Warlock was terrible. You're only
That
like
was the
big
first
cost
one
spell.
I chose against Garrett.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you play what's the 8 mana spell?
Twisting Nether.
Twisting Nether, and you just kill your own dude too.
And
At least
Including
Vanish,
my
you,
rag.
at least Vanish, you put a 6-drop into your hand, right? But
Yeah.
rough times.
Yeah,
I
I destroyed a rag and I just cried.
Jocelyn, I'd
yeah,
like
you're
I'd like
oh, I could have used that.
Jocelyn, I'd like to thank you for playing Warlock against me because then I knew not to ever pick it in this brawl going forward. So I
It was really, really bad.
I never got
And
to
I
try
thought,
Warlock.
because it was the very first time that we'd played, so I actually thought that the spell went off and then the minion spawned. So I thought I was going to kill everything and then I was going to get my rag or whatever else, my 8 mana minion. And then so when I saw him pop up and then get sucked into that amazing animation, I was like, no.
That was the one thing that kind of like rubbed me the wrong way about this is I was like, I felt like there should have been sequencing because of the way it like.
But I like the way it was. I mean, sure, it took away Twisting Nether value, but I think the sequencing worked well for most things. the creatures that do interact with spells.
Well, I was
if
getting
they come after, they're not as fun.
I was getting particularly salty when Jocelyn was getting flame wakers off of her mage
Oh, yeah.
spells, and that same action was getting
Sure.
shots off of it. I'm like, really? This is absurd.
Yeah, mana worms, flame
Yeah.
wakers, all kinds of stuff like actually works well. By the way, so did any of you ever play the Druid Dream opener?
No.
I don't know if you guys played much Druid. So the Dream opener is to go second, coin innervate into double Power of the Wild. That's like the sick Dream opener, because you make like a target dummy or a wisp with the coin, then you make another one with the innervate, and then the first Power of the Wild you make a 3/2 and whatever other 2 drop, and then the second one you do the buff each thing by 1, so you end up buffing like 4 creatures or 5 creatures at that point. So you start turn 1 with 5 buffed creatures on the board. Some of them probably
Suck it,
with
everyone else.
I did not
Yeah,
hear
and then the
about
other guy
that,
cries,
and that
you
is
can see.
insane. That makes me so happy that exists, and so sad that I didn't get it before the brawl shut down.
I played a lot of Druid because it was just clearly the best one, and I was playing it on my EU account because once I got that, I was actually just doing quests with it, to earn some gold, and I got it once. I was like so satisfied when it actually happened though too. And then another time I coin innervated swiped his face just to like make a bunch of dudes. But yeah. Yeah.
So actually, that brings up a really good point, because I know a lot of people have said that they've really, really liked Brawl this week. Do you guys think that I guess it's not even a full week, it's the 5-day iteration on Brawl. Is that too short when the Brawl's this good?
It feels like it.
I think so,
Yeah.
but I also don't know exactly what goes into it. I'm assuming the 2-day down period is for a reason.
Yeah, no, I was thinking more
It's to
along
clean
the
up
lines
the
of
inn,
like,
Garrett. They told us.
yeah.
Are you
Sweeping
the
up all
guy
that
that
minion dust.
now, Dills? When you played The Sims when it was really hot in '98, did you read the loading bars and actually believe all the things that those loading bars were
Yeah,
telling you?
there was a little
Reticulating
tiny
fleas.
minion. It's like Tron. That's how computers work, dude.
Jocelyn,
There's little guys and they're running around and they're like competing against each other. And when they die, they just like go into like a bunch of little pixels.
all right, I need to start keeping a pair of glasses on so I can put on my nerd glasses. Jocelyn, they're called it's reticulating
Splines,
splines,
I know.
not spleens.
I know,
Come on.
I know.
I mean, if you're reticulating your spleen, you need to go see a doctor. If you're reticulating a spline, you're about to go play yourself some goddamn Sims.
Yeah, and the
So
Sims
sorry,
is
Garrett.
actual little guys that need to poop and stuff. And if they don't, they like throw little tantrums.
You guys are making. I now really want to just stop the show and go play
I
The
know,
Sims.
we just have
Is
to
that
stop.
okay?
I'm out, guys. I gotta
Can
go
we have a
sit.
try stream going on where we're just sitting there building our house?
Well, I'm just gonna do what I
have,
always
like,
did, which is
basements now
make
and
a house
stuff.
with no doors and windows, and then watch the little guy go crazy.
You have to. You have
That's
to
how
make.
you play The Sims.
You have to
right?
make a door first, then you have to have them enter, then you delete the door, and you're like,
Then you
yeah,
get rid of
play
the
with
door.
those fireworks, man. Make a fireplace with a carpet in front of it. See what happens.
Exactly.
You guys are dark.
No, that's how you play The Sims. What the hell?
I wanted a house really bad in the game that had a backyard completely covered in gravestones. So to accomplish that, I had to make
Oh my
about
God.
75 Sims and send them to their doom.
And then murder them systematically one
75?
by
It was
one.
it was a really cool house because there were so many ghosts. It was the most haunted ass house in the history of Sims. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
So, all right. Brawl is too short when it's fun, but here's the thing, though: when it sucks, it's not too short.
Well, that's
So
the
I don't
thing.
know what the
don't think I
answer
would
is.
have
They have to
wanted-
do
I wouldn't
something.
have wanted 2 weeks.
Yeah,
being
2
able
weeks
to
of spiders? No.
You know what? It would be really cool if they had 2 brawls available at the same time. So if like the spell brawl was still available, but then we get a new one on Wednesday, and then that one's available for 2 weeks, and then spell brawl would end next Monday.
So if we had an
So it's like a little bit of an overlap sort of thing.
Well, we should probably just move into the news because I think we can address some of this.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Right.
I'd
True.
say this is time
Good segue.
for a segue.
Good news, everyone!
Oh, yes, Gnome. We have confirmation from Mr. Broad himself that old brawls will return. When asked, quote, if older brawls ever will be rotated back in at some point in the future, Ben Broad replied with a short but definitive, yes!
Yep. He copied that from me, by the way.
He
Yeah,
did.
totally.
He
That's my
did.
thing.
And then he added this on the end.
Yep.
Yeah. That's I love to imagine, by the way, that when a new feature in Hearthstone goes live, it's just Ben Brode in a room full of switches, just flipping them all, flipping all the switches. Lightning's going off. It's great. So yeah, we're gonna get older brawls to come back, which it's good and bad. I'm gonna be really excited to see this brawl return. There's some others I might be less enthused to see.
The others sucked. Maybe they don't come back. Maybe those
That's
ones
true.
don't come back.
There's nothing.
They gauge people's interest by how much they play them, and then they can, they have this information, and the most popular ones get rotated back in. Seems cool.
Yeah. No,
See it working that way.
That's a good point. Are you excited about this, Jocelyn?
Oh, very, very excited. I mean, I've pretty much liked. I mean, I have a couple of brawls so far that haven't been my favorite, but I've at least enjoyed it and I've replayed it quite a lot. So yeah, I mean, I want the spell brawl back.
You just
this was the first one that went away where I was like, oh man,
I was having fun the
streaming
whole
last
way
night
through.
when I looked. Yeah.
Come
I was
back.
streaming last night and I looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, it's gone. Aw.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sadness.
There is nothing saying you are correct. There's nothing saying that all brawls will come back, but
And all brawls are not created equal.
No,
Can
they
also
are not.
Say that as well.
no.
Yeah, and I can get on board with that. Now that we've seen a few more, there's definitely ones that I've really, really enjoyed. So
Yeah, I think though, there's so much more that can be done with this format, and I'm excited to see what they come up with next after seeing how cool and fun this one was. So I'm definitely softening my stance on it being like a cool feature. Still doesn't mean like at the time I thought it was like the greatest thing to get added to the game, but now with this announcement of an announcement and stuff coming on the horizon, it's like this is a fun little piece of content. And it doesn't seem like it's not a whole expansion on its own. It's not a whole release on its own. It's just here's another thing to do.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more fun things that are going to happen. And the fact that we know that they're going to get rotated back now, that was another thing I was kind of concerned with is like, well, after a year, you guys have had to come up with 52 of these. And then after another year, 104. And you got to really be able to do that and put a lot of time into this. I don't know if this is the best allocation of your resources. But now it sounds like, we got a bunch of ideas. They'll all come back around eventually. It's not going to take up too much time.
I like to think that you and I just had button shock at first. We're like, this is the new button? But there's no more room for buttons. What are we going to do?
because they've never ever combined things before into one button.
No, they haven't, Jocelyn, except for adventure mode and solo. Oh, crap. I see what you did there. You baited my incredibly... not based on facts whatsoever complaints that I'm typing in all caps on the official forums and doing a single stroke. Curse you.
Make me take away your caps lock.
It's incredibly dangerous to combine buttons as far as I'm concerned.
Just don't take away my numlock. I need those keys. I can't stand typing on the long numbers. They drive me nuts. They are there for Warcraft hotkeys, and that is it. Also, Brode was also asked about a feature that would let players play all of the old brawls against their friends, to which Ben replied, quote, rather than just bring back the best brawl, he says, I would rather just bring back the best brawls. Have to imagine how that UI might look when there are 200 brawls, which is...
Do you think they really have 200 ideas for brawls?
I think he was more talking about in the long term.
Sure.
Not so much that, hey guys, we have 200 brawls in the freaking magazine right now, loaded and ready to just explode on your monitor.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe they do.
And I think
that doesn't seem that crazy.
Last week or the week before, I think there was a listener mail asking something about this, and basically that was the thing. It's like, well, what do you do? Put them in a drop down?
No, exactly. We talked about
our tiny lizard brains can't handle more than 9 deck slots, so 200
so
brawls,
there's no way.
No, that's just ridiculous.
God, you're such a freaking troll, Dills. I love it. Just
That's ridiculous.
Add that little
one
jab
thing at
in
a
there.
time, Garrett.
By the way, guys, we still only have 9 deck slots. I know we're getting really happy and cool on Brawl now, and we all kind of agree it's pretty fun, but let me just bring this up. Just, a little under jab.
By the way, speaking of the deck slots, now that they've proven that you can have this Brawl-specific deck, right? So you open Brawl, and then you get 1 Brawl slot.
Yeah, so we have 10 deck slots now.
Why can't I do that with my arena deck?
Not anymore. Now we're back to 9. But but don't you think that now we can have that for adventures? So you open up your adventure and you're playing, and then you get like a deck slot for the boss that you're fighting, and then you just create your boss-specific deck. And then when you're done with the boss, you don't have like some weird all healing paladin deck
Yeah.
that you don't ever use in real life ever.
I just always left them as like custom decks. So it's like custom priest, custom because I
Yeah.
knew I could just go and delete anything
yeah,
that still
and then
said
you're getting
custom.
rid of them.
Yeah.
It just seems like that makes sense.
That
to
would
me,
be a
so.
really nice UI. Like that'd be a good quality of life improvement.
And and especially, I mean, I imagine they're releasing more adventures as time goes by. So just think about that, Team 5.
Yeah.
Next time
Did I tell you
next time
guys that
you're in there coding away.
like
Be a good
with
feature.
one finger.
That's how they do it. Yeah, they're all hunters and peckers.
Yeah.
All
What-
coders. I don't
what-
know if you know that.
What could we imagine, Jocelyn?
No, I was just saying. Did I tell you guys I beat heroic Nax?
No. Congratulations.
Got a card back.
You got your cool card
did.
back.
So yep, now I'm working on Blackrock Mountain.
It's got like hooks
All right.
and green slime and crap in there. It's good.
I know I never use it, but I've got it. So the completion is.
Well, you have your 1%er card back, so why would you ever use?
I have
And
my
there's the
cupcake
heroes card back, which is pretty. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and the
I really
cupcakes.
like the heroes card back. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It is nice.
It's a nice.
Although I
card back.
can't ever stop. I feel like the Tespa's too rare. I gotta show everybody that I
Yeah.
have. You know what I mean?
That's
so
true. Well, and that's Tespa's what started this. I was like, I have to beat all the heroic things now because I have all of the card backs.
that's a
Or
good
need
point.
all.
You know what I realized I don't have, and it's
What?
on me. I don't have the BlizzCon one because I haven't ever like typed in my code.
What? You need to get
And now
on.
I
I
don't-
used the BlizzCon one for
Okay.
so long.
I
First,
don't even know where my stupid code is.
first of
anymore.
all, the card
Oh,
back's
so long
not
ago.
not that exciting, but the Mountain Heroes is pretty dope.
I know, and I like that's what made me because we were all riding around on our Hearthstone cards the other day, and everyone was like, "Oh, what mount should we all switch to now?" And they're like, "BlizzCon." I was like, "Oh, damn, I don't have that."
You know, if you found it, I bet it's worth a good chunk of change at this point.
Probably, yeah, but I don't know. I think I'd rather just have the stuff.
That's funny. I was talking to Kyle from Into the Nexus the other day, and he hasn't turned in his card from 2 years ago. So the one with Golden Elite Tauren Chieftain.
Oh, damn!
Yeah, and I was like, dude, you need to find that thing, and now.
I need to make an Elite Tauren Chieftain deck, man. Just playing
Yeah,
with that
we need to
card.
do that.
Yeah.
Real quick before we move on the subject of modes where you make your own deck and it saves it. We already do that in Arena. Why can't I just challenge a friend with a deck? Why can't I do that? Would someone explain to me why I can't play a friend with my Arena deck against their Arena deck?
Because I don't know.
Yeah,
They haven't like
that-
added all this kind of stuff in yet, and yeah, I feel like it would be cool.
You know,
I think
In
it's
the arena screen,
something.
you open up your friend list and you just like hit
at
challenge
some
against
point in the I feel in the nearest future, we're gonna have an episode that's like 2 hours long where we talk about all these crazy improvements we'd love to see to ladder and arena and the new modes we'd like to see. But right now, to keep it simple, I just want to challenge a friend with my arena deck. That's all I want.
Gary. That actually enables too, without actually doing all that much to the game. Is it enables arena tournaments right away? Boom.
You found me out, Dills. I was
Yeah.
trying to trick him because I'm
Without
assuming.
don't tell them that we actually just want arena tournaments.
Yeah, I just really want an arena tournament. I just want on the weekend to be like,
with
I
a
want
sideboard.
that's down the road. Just keep it simple, Jocelyn. Keep it simple. Keep it really simple. Right now, I just want challenge friend to arena duel. That's all I want.
Fair enough.
All I want. God, that would be so. Imagine arena tournaments. How cool that would be. Can we just stop? It's a slow news week. Bear with me. Go on this journey with me, people. I want it. I want it so bad. And after the fact, we could like get replays of people's drafts, and there could be these cool after shows where everyone's analyzing everyone's arena drafts.
Sure.
Like how
Yeah, it'd be
dope
awesome.
would all that Hearthstone content be, and no longer
know.
would. Even if like the constructed meta gets stale, which it currently is a little bit. If you watch Gfinity this weekend, there really weren't any decks that were completely blown my mind. It was just like it was pretty much it was what it was. I saw a Grom Hellscream and a Patron Warrior. That was about the most exciting thing I saw. And off weeks, when it gets slow, you've got an arena tournament you can go watch where they may have all gotten terrible picks, and now you've got these crazy ass decks that these guys are trying to compete and win good money with. I think that would be just amazing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Lord of the Arena tournaments were pretty successful on Twitch, so I'm sure we'd see a ton of that.
Yeah, could you imagine it now if it actually was arena and not some hamstringed,
Yeah.
crappy version of it?
Yeah, and the thing is too that there's actually less of a chance now than before of drafting more than 2 of a card, But it still just it's just this wrinkle that just takes you out of the, what arena really does. You know what I mean? So and there was a few times I was watching, and it's just like, well, there's the third swipe, can't pick that, and it's just like, yeah, that sucks. So now I'm watching like a neutered arena deck, you know? So yeah, give it to us, Team 5. I'm on board.
I want it. I want it so
This is what we
bad.
do here. We give Team 5 stuff to do. That's our job.
I vote ladder. I want ladder fixed before anything else.
Okay. I'm there with you. All right, so we've got give us better ladder.
Yep.
Give us the ability to play adventure modes with a custom deck that doesn't exist in our 9 decks. Challenge friends with arena decks. Boom.
Yep. There you go. One from each of us. It's perfect.
That's your homework for
There-
next week.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Thank you, Team 5. Please execute it. You clearly aren't working on anything else.
Oh, and I do want my actual casual mode. Can we get the actual casual mode? No rewards at all. Just tack that on real quick. All right.
It's real quick.
So speaking of all the stuff that.
And I just want actual tournament mode, like just a real like. Let's just get that in there.
Okay, if this was Mall Santa, he'd be kicking you off his lap by now, Dales. Come on.
And
Wrap
I
it
want
up.
Can I
Fraggle
play
Stick
the birthday
car.
card? Can I say please for my birthday? Can I play that card? Because we're 20 minutes away.
Oh, from your birthday?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
well, damn.
So
All
please,
right.
Team 5 for my birthday, please.
yeah.
All that
Well, that's
stuff.
not for 20 minutes, Jocelyn. Come on. You're not one of those girls who's like,
Hey.
it's my birthday for a whole week. Oh yeah, let's do this. Like, no.
But maybe, Ben Brode is sitting there in a room full of switches. He just has
We know what he's doing. He's sitting there in a room full of switches, laughing, tilting his head back. Yeah.
So yeah, he just has to flick the right switches.
Coding a
It'll take
lot.
20 minutes to flip switches.
Flip those switches. Flip them. So speaking about flipping switches, it sounds like they're going to be flipping a switch very soon here because we have gotten even more cryptic, rather information light tweets and posts and all kinds of teases about the upcoming Hearthstone content that's being announced on the 22nd of this month. Announced, not released. I'm hoping it'll be like BlizzCon. It's be like coming out this month. Like,
I think it will be. I think we're going to see it pretty quick.
Yeah. They so far haven't announced something and been like, August 2016, you're going to get, it hasn't been how it's been so far. So I think once the actual day happens, it'll either be like playable that day.
This
or,
show
like,
would go on a
the
big
next
fat
Tuesday,
hiatus if they
whatever.
were like, by the way, no new content until August 2016. I'd just be like, well, this show's going to stop for a while.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'd be like, well, we're all just going to stop playing your game then. How do you like that?
I'm going back to Magic. See you later. So there were a couple tweets from the official Hearthstone account this past week that were teasing us with a lot more, I would call them role play tweets. One said, quote, champions are individuals who courageously answer the call of those who require their aid. And this was accompanied by some art of what looked like some kind of shiny blood elf playing those annoying horns at soccer games.
She kind of looks like a paladin. I think that might be the lady, what's her face, that's the head of the Blood Elf Paladins.
Oh, real well. Apparently, she's wearing like her summer bikini.
Yeah, there's not a lot of clothes there.
No, there's not. And if this is indeed the urgent tournament, I am concerned because this is supposed to be taking place right at the tip top of Northrend.
Well, this looks like a hero to me.
Yeah,
I think this is a hero.
I think this is a new hero. Yeah.
If that's a new paladin hero, I'm not sure. We'll have to find out.
We got ourselves a sexy lady paladin.
I guess we do. I guess
All
I
right.
hope that's her
I'm
name.
gonna start playing a lot more paladin.
I really hope she doesn't have a name and it's just sexy lady. The innkeeper
Lady
comes
Paladin.
in with versus sexy
versus
lady
sexy
paladin.
Lady paladin.
Oh, jeez.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly.
And
what
just
it
to
is.
make Jocelyn extra happy, every emote will just be her saying grill.
Oh, that would be the worst thing ever.
It would be. It would be
all
terrible.
of the emotes are just Joss bots. So hot. Cluck.
Every single one.
Cluck.
It's great. It's great. And we're all definitely
Hype.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
That Twitter account's ridiculous.
I love it. Guys, there is an actual Joss bot Twitter account. It is
You don't
wonderful.
have to go follow it.
You should. You should totally go follow it. And TacFax. You should go follow that as well.
I think it would be better. Like, I would like it if there was a reality that I lived in where Jossbot had more followers than actual Jocelyn.
And all it
And
did.
so everybody thought they were following Jocelyn, but they were just following Jossbot, and they were like, man, she really lives her character of saying these things at the end of every single tweet.
I think it'd be even funnier if all Jossbot did was just retweet Jocelyn's.
That's what it does, pretty much.
That's what it does, exactly.
Yeah.
But
It just
it-
adds.
It adds
It
hype
takes her
or
actual
clock.
tweets,
Yeah.
adds them to the end.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
So what you have to do now, Jocelyn, is just start just typing like, just like periods until the end of 140 characters, so that the DOSBot just breaks. They can't do it. There's no space to add.
Yeah, it's but if you want to if you want to follow it, people, if you want to not listen to Jocelyn's pleas to not follow this account, it is at TAC_Jospot GOCEBOT.
JOCE.
JO. Did I say G?
Yeah.
I'm getting myself in there apparently, I guess. I don't know. Garrett Bot would be so much less entertaining.
True.
It really would be. Anyway,
Jospot does have a better avatar. I think that's why I'm just jealous.
It's Robot Chicken.
It is Robot Chicken.
It is a Robot Chicken. The other tweet that they put out this week that has me quite excited says, quote, "The champion's path always begins with a trusty steed to bear them safely on their adventures," with a picture of a dwarf lady feeding her unicorn mount, which, of course, confirm mount cards. My random BS that I spewed last week, totally true. Totally
I
true.
bet Team 5 was sitting there listening going, how did he even think of that?
Well, I think there's a couple of things here. It could be like your version, or it could be that there's a new mechanic mounted that's like flying. That could also be a thing, or something.
That's true.
I really, really hope it's like the Shredder. I hope you can put
I hope
one
it's
minion
stacking
inside
cards.
of another minion.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it'd have to be specific. It'd have to be like you'd have a horse and a Kodo and a ram and a Mechanostrider and a Night Saber and a holy crap, I can't
Raptor.
remember. I thought of these many off the top of my head. Played way too much WoW. But yeah, but you have to be account level 40 because we're going old school. None of this level 20 BS. You have to get account level 40 to use your first mount card, and then 60 to use
right.
the actually good ones.
And it costs all of your gold.
Yep, and then you're gonna get this to 70. You're gonna get a flying mount, and then when we hit cap 100, they're gonna take them away from you. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. We also got a new Innkeeper's Tale, which normally I pay almost no attention to. But since it was clearly themed around whatever the hell this announcement is going to be, I read this sucker, and I read it close, and it was super short and had almost no information. Mm-hmm. But it did use the same art as that trusty steed tease. So we had, the dwarf lady and her unicorn. It made mention of the Hearthstone Inn being filled with Azerothian denizens clad in the, quote, shiniest armor you've ever seen. They also mentioned plate-wearing murlocs, which has me quite excited.
Yeah, it could be mounts and equipment and all kinds of like things to buff your cards and stuff. So
yeah,
Which would be really cool.
very interested as
kind of like
to
spare
what it could
parts
be.
almost,
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, apparently that unicorn in that piece of art enjoys alcohol, according to this story, which I thought was
Makes
fun.
sense.
Who doesn't?
I want to share a brew with a unicorn. That sounds like the most fantastical thing that could ever happen.
I want to go do that now.
You want to go drink beer with a unicorn?
Yeah. I have a unicorn on my shirt. I have a unicorn on my shirt.
And once again, we have another soundbite from Jocelyn.
Wow. All right.
I have a unicorn on my shirt.
I need to not be so excited about such ridiculousness.
If drinking a beer with a unicorn is the most fantastical thing you can do with beer, hosting a show with Jocelyn is the most fantastical way to do a podcast. Because she's got a unicorn on her shirt.
Ta-da!
I love it. No, oh, God. I want someone, oh, my God, make like a 3 Jocelyn unicorn shirt. How good would that be?
Oh,
So
man.
good. Anyway, so the announcement is coming up on July 22nd, and apparently there's going to be a big event at the Folsom Street Foundry in San Francisco, which you may have heard mentioned every single week on this show because that's where Dills does his weekly fireside gatherings.
Mm-hmm. This is correct.
That event is going to be going down at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, again at the Folsom Street Foundry over in SF. They said the event will feature, quote, a few very special Hearthstone matches, shop talk with developers, and one momentous announcement.
Very
Dun,
cool.
dun, dun.
And I will be there.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna have to leave work to get there and whatever because it's Wednesday at 2:30, which, I'm there. There's a couple things about this. One is that a Wednesday at 2:30 means I don't know if it's gonna be as packed as they hope it's gonna be. Like they might have done better if they put it at like 5 o'clock and everyone gets off work and all heads down there.
What are
but
you
it
talking
also
about?
might have made it like too packed. So I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing. We'll see.
What are you talking about, man? I totally want to start drinking at 2:30 on the middle of the day.
Well, I
on
want
a-
to
on
absolutely,
a Wednesday.
and I'm gonna. But
Like St. Patrick's Day, just in the
sure.
summer.
Yeah, it's half St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
So the other cool thing about Full Street Foundry is a big place. So I mean, I don't know how much stuff they're putting in there. Maybe they're kind of only using one part of it. Maybe they got a big stage they're bringing in. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm not a part of it. People were tweeting at me like, "Oh, he's got to be part of it." And I'm not, but I am going to be on the list to get in. So I'll definitely be there. But I'm not involved in anything. But they do have Frodan and Crip are going to be there. I know that. And then I didn't see all the devs. I think it was Dodds was going to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
I didn't see like
Dodds
any
was the
other
only
names
one
mentioned.
mentioned. I believe we did get confirmation from Lindsay that she was going to be there on Twitter.
I was gonna say, I think,
I tweeted at
yeah.
her. She said she
Yeah.
was. Yeah. And then Rachel, what's her name, is hosting it.
Seltzer.
Seltzer.
Yes, there you go. Yes. So those are all the people I know. Sounds like it's going to be cool. I imagine like we'll be seeing some of the new stuff in action. Maybe they'll have like some sort of a test build, and that's what they're talking about as far as the special Hearthstone matches.
They were also
but who
saying
knows?
that you would be able to sit down and play some games, and it seemed kind of ambiguous. Like they might have some system set up with whatever it is
Yeah.
that they're going to be
Yeah.
debuting.
So I don't know what they're going to allow or disallow, but if I know they're going to be like streaming it, but I might do some periscoping from there or something like that. I'll see what I can share with everybody.
Cool.
I'll definitely be like
Very
tweeting
cool.
and taking pictures.
You just
and-
bring a laptop with like a crappy webcam and be like, Dots, get over here, sit down. We're going to talk.
There you go. That's what I'll do. Actually, if I could I don't know if any of the game night's not involved with it. That's not like part of. They're just using their same venue. But if I could get some of those guys to come, I might see if I can get some actual interviews and have somebody film them. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I can do.
Cool.
Not sure what I'm allowed to do and not allowed to do yet. So.
Probably not.
And, oh yeah, and Trump said he would be there too because he actually lives fairly close by.
I'd be surprised if they let you in the door. There's probably like a wanted Willie Dills poster on the door as you come in. It's like this guy's gonna cause some issues. Can't let him in. He's very rowdy.
No way, man. Everyone loves me in that place.
He's gonna he's gonna get some interviews and get people
I
to say things they
get
shouldn't say.
like ushered right in. This is the only like club where I walk up and I'm like, yeah, what's up? I'm on the list.
I'm on the list.
Yep. That's my LA nightclub.
Guys, do we have a list? Can
I
someone
was
make a
gonna say,
list
Dills
and
is
put me
the
on?
only name on the list.
Yeah, there's no list.
There's
just
no
me.
actual list.
But like I know the bouncer, I know the people at the front, and I know all the bartender, you know. It's my place,
I hope
man.
it's a comically long piece of paper that just has Dills printed on it.
Yeah, it's just
Not a bunch of Dills, just
Unfurled.
one Dills. You just roll it,
It's
goes
a
down the
scroll.
street, and just somewhere
Yeah.
in the
when
middle
you
of
open
it.
it up, it's
Oh, that's great. Any other closing thoughts on this? Do you guys have any? You know what you think it is? I mean, everyone's saying Argent tournament, but that can mean anything.
it's pretty obvious that's what we're getting. I did say it in the I think I said it last week too, but like Argent tournament mode.
I just can't imagine that tournament mode's actually coming because like the more everyone
I don't
talks
know,
about it,
man.
the more we
I
all
don't
kind
know.
of. It seems like we've all come to the conclusion that it would be really hard to do correctly and as nice and as easily as Hearthstone does it. So I think it's a long way off if it is ever.
But
coming.
maybe it's not what we imagine it to be. Maybe it's some version that's kind of, just pared down to whatever they wanted it to be. And
True.
But I still don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
I don't think it's impossible. For some reason, I don't think this is going to be any type of actual tournament. But we'll see. I would be glad to be wrong. I would be so glad to be wrong.
I would be glad if you were wrong too.
Dills, you're always glad when I'm wrong.
No, but this time I would be because I want my tournament mode.
Also, this past weekend, we had the Gfinity Summers Masters tournament, which I just have to... Literally, my favorite thing about these guys are they don't flip the board in their observer thing. I
I
love it.
love that too. It bothers me a lot, especially in mirror matches when they're flipping back and
It's
forth.
stupid. There's literally no reason to do it. The board doesn't actually flip in the game, so it just confuses you more. And if you're already capturing both sides of what's going on, which every tournament does now, why flip the board? You're just
The one thing
confusing
I would
people.
like to see from tournaments though is I'd like to see it more obvious which player is which side of the board because
Yes.
sometimes it's hard to tell. Yes, they highlight or they do something.
I was gonna say, yeah, the lighter,
with the,
darker things sometimes
Yeah.
is really, really hard to tell.
that's
But
what
on
I-
a mirror match, and casters have gotten confused. I think I was watching. Maybe it was the
Archon?
Archon thing where Strife Crow was constantly confused about who it was,
Yeah.
and finally they were like, "Oh, look, it's highlighted on one side." He's like, "Oh, okay." But
That's-
like it's just
Still doesn't really help.
didn't register with him until someone mentioned it, and just make it more obvious, guys.
That's what I like so much about this, because since they don't flip it, they put both players' cameras on the left side, and they have the guy who's on top.
Yeah, one
and the
guy's
guy
on top,
who's
one guy's on bottom.
On
That
bottom.
makes sense.
It's the best. I'm sorry, it just is.
Yeah.
So do this, everyone else, because flipping is useless and confusing.
Yeah. And it's always like you look at it, and then there's that weird moment when it flips, and it's just I don't know.
I want to see.
Not right.
I want to like tune into an actual Magic tournament. I want to watch them stand up and swap chairs every time it's a new turn. I want to see that. That'd be fun.
There you go. I feel like it would be cool if the observer client as well gave us like a better display of the hands for just specifically for this, because like you've got that, like, sure, it looks like you're holding cards, right, which is how most people do it. Then you got the ones on the top, and that's just always been kind of awkward that it's like fanned out upside down, you know?
And that's why.
And even when they flip it, it's still just kind of weird. But I think there's a way to like just kind of even it out and just make it more of a straight line, and then it's like kind of easier to look at from both sides. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, a lot of these tournaments, they're grabbing from the other player's actual screen, so you are getting a larger picture of their hand than you would get if you just turned what's up top naturally upside down. But
that's what they're doing essentially. Is they're like there's still like that little bit of extra work that everybody has to do, where they have to like screen grab both sides, and then overlay that one on the top, and then flip it, and all that stuff. It's like if they just like flattened them out and then just had them like that, it'd be easy to see.
Yeah, no, I agree. And if you're not
adding this onto the things that we requested earlier from Team 5,
the Angry Chicken _ Team 5 do all this crap we're ranting about.
Yep,
that's
what we're here
it's
for.
called. But it was a good tournament. Like I said kind of earlier, the meta's a little stale at the moment. Nothing really crazy from the deck side of things. But what was crazy was the finals, because it was between Legendarian and Unskiller. Two awesome names, by the way. But if you're not familiar with them, you're not alone. I have no idea who these guys are. They don't have a Wikipedia page. Their Gosu Gamers page barely exists. These are two very relatively unknown players, and they both made it to the finals of a major tournament. And spoiler alert. All right? Because two people are going to get mad at me. Legendarian took home $5,000 and Unskiller took home $2,500. So big congrats to these new names in Hearthstone.
Very cool. I didn't see if they even had a lot of well-known names in there, if it was just mostly like who showed up and played. Because not that I'm saying like they're not good, but I'm saying like it wasn't like an invite tournament. It was like more like people who had qualified or whatever.
Yeah, no. I mean,
I didn't know like any of them.
It was all qualified, but that's why it was...
Yeah.
That for me was the interesting thing, because
so you actually saw guys who just worked their way into the tournament and not got invited because their name is somebody that we know. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a lot of money on the line.
I mean, we had Hawkeye from Razor's Edge, which is really the only name I remotely recognized, but that was about it.
Yeah, the only guy on a team according to this thing is Tom 60229.
Go Tom, go.
That's a very original name, Tom 60229.
Not everyone.
Who's your favorite Hearthstone player? Tom?
Tom 60229
any Tom.
or Tom 60228?
Do you like 60229 or are you a 60228 kind of guy? What do you think?
Really, I like 60227 before he was cool.
Before the other Toms were cool?
Yeah.
60221, the original.
Yeah.
Also, Callum was like the host of this thing, which was kind of cool. So,
yeah, he did I thought he did a
him.
really good job, and I told him today too that I think he makes a fine host, and one day I will defeat him in single combat, and I will steal his accent and his beard, and I will be unstoppable.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no. If you beat somebody in some sort of a contest of some sort, you
get to
take their
all
powers.
things. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, there's a couple artists I need to defeat in single combat then. I need those skills. I need them. That's going to do it for this week's Hearthstone News. Let's get into this week's strategy talk.
It is very hard.
Wanna blow something up? Time to pay!
That bumper always just makes me want to get into a DeLorean and do 88 miles per hour.
Yeah. It's a pretty epic 80s jam for sure.
It really does, man. It really does. Anyway, this week we're going to be talking about Aggro Paladin. And if you're looking at our video version, you were staring specifically at Chalky's Aggro Paladin.
Yes, this was the one he played in the Team Archon League last week, I believe. So Chalky's known as a very good aggro player, so I figured his build would probably be one that everybody could rely on as one that was kind of well thought out and as aggro as it gets. And it is. I mean, this thing is crazy. It's got, I think, 8 1-drops.
Yes.
It's
1, 2, 3,
No.
4,
Yes.
5, 6, 7, 8, 10. 10 1-drops.
Sorry.
10, yeah.
Sorry, low bulb there.
One third of the deck can be played on
Yeah.
turn 1. Yes.
That's you're significantly increasing your chances of a good turn 1 play.
Yeah, you're pretty much making it 100%, I think, at this point. But it is, I mean, that is one of the things. Like, this deck is really good going first. This is one of the decks like where you want to go first because you drop something every single turn with this deck, and it's incredibly powerful. Aggro Paladin right now. I kill people on like turn 5 or 6 almost every single time, or I lose, and I know it by turn 5 or 6. And I'm out.
So it's very much like
moving
a
on.
so it's like a mech deck, like because that's
Kinda,
how
yeah.
It's
I mean,
really
it's just-
fast. It's in
it's
and
super
out.
tempo.
Yeah.
because that's exactly how Mech Mage worked or felt like it worked in
Well,
and
Mech
same thing with Mech
Mage
Shaman.
would have some late game because you had Archmage Antonitis, right? So
Right.
you did have like some ability to win games late. This deck, unless you get like a huge Divine Favor, you do not win the game late. You flood the board and they either deal with it or they don't. And if they can't deal with it, then they're just dead.
Yeah. Now, looking at Chalkies, it's all low. I mean, you're looking at
Yeah.
King Mukla at the highest end of this mana curve, but
the top of the curve is the Blessing of Kings, the Consecrate, the True Silver Champion. Those are your 4 mana cards. I actually, in my version that I was playing, I had a Leroy because Leroy, hits face. That's my fireball, I guess you'd say. And then Leroy Blessing of Might is 9 damage straight to the face. So I had a Leroy, and then I also had a single Hammer of Wrath because a Hammer of Wrath could actually get over taunt. And there was times where they would play a taunt. I didn't have a Lepronome and I didn't have a charge card or whatever, and it was one more like potential damage draw that I could get. Sometimes you're just like, I just have to draw some straight damage to the face. And actually, this deck doesn't have a lot of charges because it only has Arcane Golems and Salcy Deckhands. But this deck's more about like just getting too many creatures onto the board for them to deal with. But if you play like a Mage or something that just wipes your board with a big AOE spell, sometimes you just need to draw some damage. So I liked having one of those, and also it's one more piece of card draw to maybe get my Divine Favor if I didn't get it, because I had a lot of chances or a lot of games where I just didn't get Divine Favor and I just was completely out of cards. So I figured one card that gave me a little bit of an extra advantage in those two things would be good. So
I had the worst luck with this deck. I actually crafted Mukla again just so I could play this version. And I mean, it just seemed like every terrible thing that could possibly happen happened. Like, I mean, I got like Fan of Knived by rogues, and it's just like, it's like every single thing that I played, they always had exactly the right answer to it. And I was just like, worst deck ever. Well, not worst deck ever, worst player of Aggro Paladin ever.
I feel like this is a deck you got to play a bunch before you really start to get the hang of like exactly because you do actually play kind of a board control game at the very beginning. Like you have like Argent Squires and Shielded Mini Bots early on, and you actually do trade with those just to enable the rest of your minions to just start hitting face. And then Mukla is like, you want a clean board when you play Mukla because you don't want them to use the bananas right away to then make their creatures really strong. And sometimes be able to just trade evenly with the Mukla. And the Mukla is also in there to help your Divine Favors be better because you put bananas in their hand. And then, but it's like you have to figure out with this deck. It's similar to Face Hunter where sure you might think just drop stuff and hit face, but the actual proper way to play it, the most efficient way to play it, is for the first 2 to 3 turns you're playing a board control game. And then once you get past that, then everything just hits face all the time, and you force them to make the trades. And when you Truce or Blessing of Kings, something with Divine Shield on it, that's just really hard for them to do. So, but it is a frustrating deck to play against, 100%. Like you're on a clock immediately as soon as you see that Argent Squire hit the board. You're on a clock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We could even pull Reckful in here to ask him what he thinks of Aggro Paladin.
I hate Aggro Paladin.
He hates it. Yeah. He hates it because he lost to it a few times. Yeah. Very good opinion of there. There's some cards you can put in here. I definitely like having 2 owls because the biggest stopper here besides AoE and actually like AoE doesn't necessarily kill you every time because you do have the Divine Shield on some of your stuff. But I really like having a cog hammer in this deck too. I think I have a single cog hammer in mine as well, because a lot of times if you can just get an extra divine shield at some point, and also cog hammer is just 6 points of damage over 3 turns. And it's another weapon for your South Sea deckhands. So, South Sea deckhands with charge. That's one of the biggest ways that I was able to finish games a lot of times was, play like South Sea deckhand with my True Silver Champion and Blessing of Might It, and that's 9 damage. So I found that one cog hammer was actually pretty good too, and so I put some of those.
Yeah, I was lacking a weapon a lot. It's like I was sitting there with like one, sometimes 2 deckhands, and I'm just like, I can play them, but that seems silly. Like, where's my muster? Where's my True Silver? Like,
yeah, there's only 4 in this particular version, but you mulligan pretty heavy like early on. Yeah, with 4 you're gonna draw into one of them usually at some point. But that's
what I mean. I just had the worst luck.
I just play the deckhands as 2/1s too, because it's fine. Like essentially, you just want to play something every single turn. You want to use up all of your mana every single turn. And with this many 1-drops, it's pretty easy to fit that much mana in. And it's also when you draw the Divine Favor, it's pretty easy to just dump your hand and then play the Divine Favor just for maximum value. So Divine Favor should be able to draw you like 4 or 5 cards almost every single time, which is just insane. Although not as insane as Battle Rage. Like, no matter how good this deck is and its draw engine is, Battle Rage is just insanely broken right now.
It's really good.
Patron deck.
It's reminding me of the dark days of Miracle Rogue.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, that deck is it cycles so heavily. I was playing it last night, and I did 65 damage from an open board and won the game. That's just wrong. That shouldn't happen.
That's
we have an email about that later.
Really silly. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a bit.
I did 232 attack Frothing Berserkers and a one point of damage from a unstable ghoul.
All right.
65 damage.
Fair
from an
enough.
empty board.
Yep.
I mean, that's what makes it sick. It's like I had nothing on the board at the beginning of that turn.
Yeah, it's a little nuts. It's a little nuts. Yeah. But folks, go try out Aggro Paladin if you haven't already. Enjoy it. Before we move into crazy game stories, we do have to stop though, and wish Jocelyn a happy birthday.
Oh, all right. What are we doing here?
I'm gonna kick it off.
That's what we do in my raid. No, everybody does it all at once over Mumble, and it's like the craziest, creepiest, weirdest, funniest thing you've ever heard. But,
I think we'll just say happy birthday, Jocelyn.
Shots.
I don't have a shot.
I don't have a shot.
I don't have a shot either.
Shots.
But I have this for you, Jocelyn.
Hello.
There you go. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And may many, many, many more years come before you go.
Hello.
That would be really nice. We'd like to keep you around for a bit.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, chat room.
Chat room blowing up with the birthday love.
Yeah, I know.
All right, let's take a crazy game story.
Is the whole world gone crazy?
You're in trouble now.
You got it.
You can send your stories to tacpodcast@gmail.com. Our crazy game story today comes to us from Kyle, who writes, "Hello, Festering Fowl. I have a crazy game story for you." I would hope so, or why would you be sending me this, and why would I have put it in this section of the show?
That wouldn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. Kyle says, "I am playing Control Warrior against the Shaman. About midway through the game, I play Nefarian." Is that we could just end it there? There's the crazy game story. He played Nefarian on purpose.
Something crazy's about to happen.
Yeah, he says, "I get Reincarnate and Rockbiter weapon." All right, that's not a terrible haul. Several turns later, the game is winding down, and my opponent plays Alakir to clear a couple small minions that I have on the board, leaving only Alakir on his side. He is at 11 HP. I then top deck Sylvanas. Ooh. Oh my god. I immediately give a play Sylvanas, reincarnate her to steal Alakir, and Rockbiter him for lethal. To put the cherry on the top, the very next game I won against a handlock by pulling Sacrificial Pact from Nefarian against Jaraxxus. Nefarian for the win!
It's not bad.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is just
here's
gross.
the thing. Nefarian's actually a really good card because, especially in the Control Warrior, the Dragon version, because not only does it activates your Blackwing Corruptors, But also, like, Ysera will give you, dream cards, but you get one guaranteed. Nefarian's like an 8/8 guarantees you 2 cards. So those 2 cards, sure, like they could be crappy, but on average, they're decent. And it's like that immediate effect is just pretty good. And sometimes you get stuff like this that just outright wins you the game. And when you get like a bad card, you're like, all right, whatever,
It is what it is.
Guess I don't use this.
Yeah.
But I've had like Nefarian give me Sacrificial Pact against Jaraxxus. I've had Nefarian Nefarian sometimes just gives you like the perfect card in the situation you needed it for. I've had it give me Mind Control against Priest, and then I like take their Giant Dragon, like their Ysera or something. Like it's all kinds of cool stuff happens.
And sometimes you get crap, and you're just like, well,
Yeah. But it's just like it's in that perfect place of like being like a cool, weird, fun card that's also actually good. It's like actually a good card,
As opposed to
There's
what?
not that many that are like that.
As opposed to what? Nose Dormu?
Yeah, like or Elite Tauren Chieftain. You know what I mean? Like those cards
Hey,
are like those cards are not actually good, but they're super fun. And
you
want them to
be
exist in the
nice
game.
to Elite Tauren Chieftain. He at least has the intro animation to back it up. Nose Dormu is just a dumb card.
Yeah, but like Nosdormu would be really cool and fun. Like that would be like the patron counter, right? You play Nosdormu against patrons and they can't do their turn.
Oh
like,
my god.
It would be fun. It'd be like, so make it a 4/12 Nosdormu, and like that would go in the
New meta
game.
confirmed.
That's what I'm gonna do this week, Dills. I'm gonna put Nose Dormu in every single one of my decks because
There you go.
he counters
Just to be
patron warrior.
patron.
Yep.
The problem though is that then they just execute it and it's gone. You're like, damn it! Like that
that's a really good point.
Yeah.
That's
Make Nosdormu a 4/12, and I guarantee you it starts getting play. A 9-mana 4/12 that speeds up the game.
And then he high fives Ysera on his way in, like, yeah, 4/12s for life.
Yeah. That's why I think like Nefarian's okay as an 8/8 because Nefarian is like it gives you that immediate effect. But the cards that kind of take a while to actually have their effect realized are things like Ysera and like Malagos. Like it's the fight. Sure, you can configure the game in a way that Malagos comes out and then enables like an OTK, but it's tough, right? It doesn't give you that immediate effect. So I think you need those cards to be like hard to kill, and that means under BGH level and higher than 8 health. So there you go. That's my 7th request now for Team 5. Make those Dormu a 4/12.
We now needed a Twitter account that's just called Dills Requests, and it just compiles all the random stuff you ask for across one episode of The Angry Chicken.
I'm just trying to make the game better, man.
Yep. Yep.
Get on it, random Twitter account maker.
Do it! I still don't know what Garrett bot would be, but we'll figure it out at some point.
We'll figure it out.
Onward and upwards to emails.
It just rages.
It just always
Like,
says rage.
Yeah,
When was the last time I raged? I guess I
When's
kind
the last time you played Heroes?
but that wasn't public, sir. That wasn't public.
All right.
So you're saying Garrett bot is going to be run by like my 4 friends I play Heroes with?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Garrett bot just goes like, we can't win this game.
No, Garrett bot goes, uninstall, you useless piece of crap, Abathur, learn to play, noob, why are you in here ruining this game for me?
This is why I don't play with you anymore.
What? That is unfair. Every single time I have played with you, I have been nothing but supportive and tried actively to coach you.
It's really funny though, if I was watching Garrett play with Kyle, and it was like I think it was your after show or something. And like I think just Kyle's just used to you because like the whole time Kyle's just overwhelmingly positive about
that's just how Kyle is
of winning the game.
That's how Kyle is, and it drives me bananas because he lives in fantasy land where anything can happen.
But you guys won the game. I was watching it. You thought you were like totally not going to win. You were like, this game is lost.
No.
And you guys ended up winning the game. And the whole time you were like, I can't do anything or whatever. And like Kyle's just like, no, we got this. We'll just have to do this or the other thing.
I mean,
and
look
you
at
guys
this.
ended up winning the game.
Look at
Well,
the
you were
stats
playing
at the end.
Kael'thas though. To be fair, Kael'thas at level 16 is ridiculous.
That is true. That can definitely happen. But yeah.
It was just funny. I was watching it. I was like, God, Kyle's just overwhelming positivity coming out of that guy.
I like Midnight Bomber saying Garrett Bot should just constantly cast Crackle. So I'm now thinking that Garrett Bot should just be a Twitter account that only ever tweets a number between 4 and 6.
Yeah. There you go.
Perfect.
Unless it has spell power.
Yeah, there we go. And then it has like in parentheses spell power plus however much it is, and then it gives you an integer.
Crackle for 6.
That would be so good. That make me so happy. Make it happen. Let's take some emails.
Hello.
Hello, it's me.
Hello.
Just quickly, do you
Yep.
Hello, brother.
You can also send your emails to tacpodcast@gmail.com. Our first one today comes to us from Koi, is how I'm going to choose to pronounce that one. Who says...
Kai?
Kai?
Yeah, I thought maybe Kai.
Kai? I guess you
I
say
like
Guy.
Kai.
Guy?
Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer Koi, but yeah. Lucky... Kai says, Lucky Cluckers. I really appreciate the Angry Chicken, what each of you bring to it, and specifically the time you take to ensure the quality of the work. Oh, that got me thinking, would any of you want to be casters for events? Obviously, based on what we saw these last few weeks, there is a dire need. Have you been asked before? Would you each have time to invest in casting these larger events? I strongly feel that each of you have the work ethic, knowledge, and personality to succeed there. Hoping you do want to and that you get the chance. I remember reading this email, and I like that you cleverly edited at the beginning of it.
Little bit.
Where Kai was like, let me tell you all the things that other podcasts do that I can't stand that I'm very glad you don't do. Which was flattering as all hell, Kai. I'm just clearly not going to. He or
I
she.
thought it was best just tweaked.
I'm with Kai, man. All the podcasts suck.
Yeah, they do. I mean, really, this is the only good one, except Into
Especially
the
that
Night.
They're
Instance
terrible.
one.
Oh, that one's garbage.
This one's really bad. I mean, it's been really good lately because this one guy hasn't been on it, but I'm talking about Terpster.
Wait,
Come on.
Patrick hasn't been there for a while?
I was talking about the T. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
T's gonna find me at a Nerdtacular and choke me. Yeah. Would we ever want? I'd love to be a caster for an event. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd do it.
I would
I
do
mean, I feel like we have done it. We have done it a little bit. We did do some of the, what was it, the Hearthstats thing we did?
We did Hearthstats. We did our own. We did our own
Did
tournament.
our own tournament, yeah.
And Jocelyn and I did the patron tournament
Oh, right, with Will, yeah.
with Will Brode, Ben Brode's brother.
Yeah, but you know, it's not something that I don't know. There's like kind of a small pool of people who get kind of invited to these things a lot. And a lot of them are just players, right? They're like some of the higher level players. So, but I was asked to maybe do the Vulcan League thing, but then they ended up going with like a production company, so that didn't end up actually panning out. But yeah, I would do it if someone asked me.
Yeah.
And then I would have a Twitch chat tell me that I need to be sapped. That would be great. It'd be enjoyable. I'm gonna just say something about Twitch chat's reaction to all casters that aren't Frodan, and that is, you guys need to just chill out, man. Like, it's fine. You don't need every caster to know every little detail about every single possible card or every single possible play. Like, just sit back and watch. It's fine. People rage over the smallest, dumbest thing. Like somebody's.
And it's a really difficult job. Like, it's not easy to sit there and try to think of every single play in every single possibility when you're not necessarily familiar with the decks, and try to just think of everything and also be a personality on top of that. It's a really, really difficult job. And I mean, obviously Frodan does a really good job of it, but there's a lot of other casters out there who hold their own. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
And everyone's got their own style. Like, you don't have to talk over every possible play or permutation of what could happen on a turn. You could just talk about what's actually happening and just or be a color commentary and just remark on things you find interesting, and that's okay too.
Can I actually? That would probably be my biggest critique of the Hearthstone casting scene. Mm-hmm. We don't have enough people who are actually seem excited to be casting. Mm-hmm. I would say we need more color commentary. I think we're fine on the analytical, holy crap, you know everything there is to know about this game. I want somebody behind the desk that gets me excited about what I am watching, and I am not seeing that for the most part in any tournament.
That's Admirable's been kind of doing that lately. He's been taking on more of a ESPN highlight reel approach, which some people really hate. But I thought it made it seem legitimately exciting.
I don't need you to pretend like you're seeing the winning catch at the Super Bowl.
No, yeah, or like a rag shot going one of four places doesn't need to be like the most exciting thing of all time. But, just have a little enthusiasm, I think, is really important.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just in there with very kind of sullen, laid-back tones, just kind of, whatever, man.
For whatever reason, I've seen that a lot lately. I don't know if it's because I'm watching a lot of tournaments that aren't actually LAN events, so everyone's just sitting home. And it just seems like they're just sitting there and, okay, he's doing this, and Yeah, I mean, that's what, I mean, it's better.
What do you think he's gonna do next? I don't know. Probably play a card.
I mean, it's better than Reckful's casting, but.
Oh yeah.
What do you think he's gonna do next? I don't know, and I don't care.
that was our resident analytical guy, Reckful. Yep. Thank you.
Kai is apparently in the chat. Says Kai rhymes with guy and is a dude.
Okay, well there you go. There you go.
Mystery solved.
Done and done. I will start calling him King Kai, even though it's not spelt the same.
Okay.
No one here watches Dragon Ball Z but me.
Kai is now sad that the reference to Star Wars and magic got edited out of the email. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Or as Josh says, sorry.
I'm sorry.
I say sorry like a normal person.
Sorry, like a normal Canadian person. Yes.
Well, yeah, I would totally go cast the event. I just, it takes. I mean, it does take a lot of time. It is one thing to obviously take into account, but
yeah. And I think there's a lot of really good casters who get, for lack of a better term, shit on by Twitch chat. And so my point is like, I wish Twitch chat, my chat experience, man. Like, it's just, I want to watch the tournament and not think about how crappy the casters are according to some dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, it's just overwhelming and annoying, and I want it to stop. So I wish Twitch chat was a little bit kinder.
Yeah.
That's a true statement no matter what is happening on Twitch.
Sure. Yeah. But I feel like, it's like to get more people to be like, I know that, and also going to the Hearthstone Reddit and making a post about how terrible somebody is. Sure, sometimes they actually are terrible. But, like there was one about Dart at the Tempo Storm hangout, and Dart comes into the post and is like, hey, thanks for the feedback. I genuinely want to get better. And it's just like, I just feel bad for the guy because he was trying and he was doing the best he can. And it was a really casual fireside gathering tournament, not some, thousands of dollars. Like they were giving away Amazon gift cards to the winners, which by the way, Raynad was the winner of his own thing, but spoiler alert.
Enjoy those gift cards, Raynad. Enjoy them.
But like they had a guy who was like from Amazon sit down for a little bit with Dart, and Dart was kind of like working with the guy who clearly didn't know that much about Hearthstone, and then like Dart's the one getting crapped on in Reddit. So it's just like I don't understand like what's wrong with people that they feel the need to just tear people down who are trying to do something, but it sucks.
I mean, again, it's like true of everything on Twitch. I mean, back when Twitch plays Pokemon, man, they were being so mean to that Pikachu. Like, be nice, guys. Calm down.
Pikachu alone.
We're all here to have fun. Jeez, if he doesn't want to become Raichu, he doesn't have to become Raichu. Don't force him to take that lightning crystal. God.
I'm just pleading for a little more positivity out of my internet, That's all.
Well, Twitch is not the place to find it, unfortunately. At least not in large numbers.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
It's too bad because that's where I go to watch my tournaments.
Well, that's why the first thing I do, close the chat tab. Yeah.
But I need to know, like, I like the dank memes, though,
Here's a question for you, Dills. Dills, when you go to see a movie you're really excited about, you've been looking forward to it for a while. Maybe it's Mad Max. Maybe it's Medea goes to, I don't know.
It's not that.
Somewhere. Sure. Medea goes to Canadian jail. I don't know. Do you really wish that you had a chat room on the right side of that giant movie screen of people going, "This sucks, boobies." No. Wiener jokes. Kappa, and then the female lead comes on and they're just like grill.
But that's not an interactive experience like Twitch is to me. You know what I mean? Like I don't think those are like I get what you're saying and I agree, but to me like Twitch is more like that's Twitch chat is part of the experience. You know what I mean? And like my chat experience, baby rage, Bible sound, make things
Yeah, I love that those incredibly obvious and predictable things is an interactive experience for you, Tills.
Like I can Bible thump with the best of them. That's what I'm saying, and it just sucks when I'm watching it like someone get torn down. Like there was a girl playing, and the entire Twitch chat was just grill this, grill that, blah blah blah. This girl sucks, and yeah, she was making mistakes, but who cares? She was the professional player. Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand the mentality.
Sounds like such a massive improvement of my viewing experience. Yeah. Sounds like I'm really missing out.
I want my dank memes without the hate. Yeah, exactly.
So everyone be nice to each other. I mean, a lot of it really, I think, falls on us, the community, to like not be so accepting.
Not to just
of
be that. That's really all you could do, I think, at this point. You
Yeah.
know, people are going to be what they're going to be, and that's fine. But I'm just pleading for all the people out there. If you are one of those people, maybe think about it and don't do it next time. You can baby rage a Bible thump without just like saying someone's terrible. You know what I mean?
We should at some point when we have way too much time on our hands do a commentary track for a movie, but only do it in Twitch speak.
That would be amazing. I actually really want to do that.
We'll get someone to animate over it with like keyboard memes and whatnot, and emotes and whatnot. That'd be great. We'd love it. So good.
Do a montage parody of it.
Yeah, we've gotten so off topic. Dills, next email.
Oh, this is from Adam. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Hello, my fellow Colonel Sanders rejects.
Oh, we lost Garrett. Garrett down. Garrett down.
That was a callback to Kai.
I'm sorry.
Kai got a callback. So you might not have missed your Star Wars and Magic references, but you did get a callback in the Adam email. So there you go. I had a question about all the win out of nowhere decks going on at the moment on ladder. Ages ago, when they had to nerf cards because of warriors hitting with charged up 8/8 giants 4 times in a row, that was deemed OP, too OP. Now we have tons of decks that don't need to have much of a board state at all. Life totals don't even need to be low. Just a quick I win hand. Just seems like it's waiting to see who gets the insane out of nowhere 2 to 4 cards. Patron Warrior, as we all know, can kill from any life total. Oil Rogue is almost any life total. Usually below 24 makes it easier. Combo Druid can kill from 30 with a couple minions out, but 15 or less is very dangerous. Hunter can pull off some sick random wins from below 20 or so, which you will be. Mages, of course, can burn you out of nowhere, usually not for full, but below 18 or so is dangerous. Warlock has several different avenues of OTK out of nowhere burst, i.e. Nefarian, Insane, Druid. I think Nefarian probably means Malagos, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think probably.
Okay. But in general, you don't get OTK out of nowhere with them. Paladin, Priest, seem more fair, probably explain their lack of play. I play a lot. It's starting to feel like I'm just waiting for the guillotine to drop. Has the power level of some cards gone too high too fast? Do we not have enough quality defensive cards? So I do think that we're probably going to see a nerf to Patron in some form because it is a little out of control. Doing, like I said, 65 damage with nothing on board was the reason why they nerfed things like Leroy. Like they're just like, you have nothing on board. It seems ridiculous that you just can die. I don't think we're going to see a change to Druid, honestly. I don't think Druid's OP at this point.
No, I don't think they're one of the weaker classes as a whole at the moment. And being around 15 and that being dangerous, I don't think is a bad thing, especially in the late game.
That's half your health, you know what I mean? And if you think about it, that's it's something to play around. Sometimes it's frustrating because sometimes there's nothing you can do, but
it's not like they're doing it on turn 5.
No, it's toss 9 mana. But I think what's happening though here, and what Adam's probably feeling, is just Emperor Thorsan's effect to the game, which has been pretty massive. It's allowed so many combo decks to exist and be built around just drawing a lot of cards and then making them all cheaper, and then being able to blow your face up. And I don't think that needs to be nerfed. I think that's okay. Like with Patron, one thing about it is you do have to put together about 5 or 6 cards. The problem is like things like Battle Rage and stuff being able to be exploited so easily and drawing you so many cards so easily. They have so many ways to draw a ton of cards that I think that might be the thing that needs to be nerfed more than any of this other stuff.
Even more than Berserker?
Well, Berserker is crazy. But I don't know what you could like. Berserker was never that crazy until now, right?
Right.
So
and I think it all
I don't know if
stems
Berserker's
from them
necessarily the problem.
fixing the Warsong Commander, right? Like that was bugged for so long, so no one was using any of these kind of charge combo decks, and all of a sudden now they can all come back. So. I think that really, because that's making the Berserkers and the Patrons so much more dangerous, because now all of a sudden you can fill your board with things that do 3 attack and they can all hit your face. And then, or they can hit your minions, spawn more, and like you can just keep attacking over and over and over again with that 3 attack. So
what if they made Patrons 4/2s?
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah, they could spawn 1.
They were more dangerous as far as their actual output per patron, but it was just harder to get these patrons that are impossible to kill.
That would also
it brings them into range of a lot of AoEs as well.
Yeah, that would also by extent make them a little less potent for the Frothing Berserker because it's less likely there'll be a ton of them sticking around the board to buff your Frothing Berserker with a whirlwind.
Because that's really like the patrons
problem.
aren't as big of a problem as the Berserkers really are. Because what you do with the patrons is you actually just like first you can make a bunch of them and then force like on turn 5 you can do the Death Bite on turn 4, swing. Then on turn 5, you can enter Rage 1 and then swing and then end up with 4 patrons, you know? And then what that does is it forces the opponent to then deal with your board rather than building their own board, which buys you a bunch of time to do things like Thaurissan on turn 6 and then draw a bunch of cards and then do all that kind of stuff. And then the patrons end up getting used late game more as enablers for the Frothing Berserkers. You get a bunch of patrons out there, and then there's just a lot of creatures for the whirlwind effects to buff up the Frothing Berserkers. So
and too,
if
like
you could
if you're playing your own minions, then you're also like you're a liability to yourself because every single one of your minions, and even if they had like basically the more health they have, the more of a liability they are because the more times they can get hit with those whirlwind effects, and then that's buffing your warriors berserkers. So
Fairman says like, 4/2 patron wouldn't be played at all, and I agree. So there you go. It's nerfed.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back into a world where we have only one warrior that's played. I don't want to be nerfed into the
But even
ground.
then, even if it was a 4/3, like keep the health the same so you could still potentially spawn a couple, but then make it so that they can't charge in. You know, like even that I think would just be enough to kind of tweak the deck and make it a little bit more interactive.
Mm-hmm. Or you could have the patrons pop out
progressively smaller ones like those Russian nesting dolls.
Like someone's in chat saying it. Daniel J. Newman says, what if the nerf starts at 3/3 but then the copy is 2/2 then 1/1?
Yeah.
You could do something like that. That'd be interesting as well.
I have
like,
no
if you think about,
idea how they would write the text for that card.
But
Russian nesting doll. I just wrote it.
Yeah, let's make a whole new keyword for this one card.
Like, there's already creatures that do this, like Imp Gang Boss. Every time it takes damage, it pops out a 1/1. So you could just have it always pop out 2/2s rather than 3/3s. Like the fact that it pops out an exact copy of itself that's also then pops out more, and like that's really what makes it this kind of insane.
I'm saying if it's different every time, there's not an easy way to do that. Imp Gang Boss works because it can literally read spawn an imp, and an imp is a 1/1.
Sure. Mm-hmm. So you could say
spawn. You could just say spawn patron with -1/-1.
That actually, you may have just solved it, Jocelyn.
There you go.
Ta-da!
But I'm not exactly sure where I know a nerf is coming because I think right now it's just an out of control deck, and it's been at the top for going on 3 months or 2 months, something like that.
Really long time.
So I think the last thing they said it was like 10 straight weeks or something at the top of the meta snapshot things. And it just is too powerful, but it might not necessarily need to be the patrons. It might need to be the card draw, because they actually did change Battle Rage once. You remember when Battle Rage was all damaged things, characters? Like you could, you'd get damaged minions from the other side of the board and from the opposing hero as well. So I mean,
God, you would just deck yourself at this point.
Yeah, but it's like the ability to draw through the deck and have this insane power combo is, I think that's where the deck is too strong. Like you should really only be able to do one of those things, right? And the fact that your combo can actually be 60 plus makes it so that you need to nerf something, and that might not necessarily be the patrons, but maybe something else about the deck.
Maybe we'll see some new cards soon that'll answer this for us.
Oh, it's possible.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, and it is true that you could tech against Patron Warrior with things like you're seeing Ooze make a big comeback right now. Because it's just the ability to get rid of one of those whirlwind effects is pretty important. The problem is they have 6 of them, so it's difficult to get rid of enough.
Yeah. Jocelyn, what's our final email for tonight?
This is actually a pretty long one, so bear with me. It comes from Druian, I guess.
Sure.
We're having such a rough time with the names tonight. Why can't you all be Adams? So, and I just realized I gave this one to myself, and so, Bakok, livid cluckers.
Cluck.
With the prospect of an expansion adventure update and the card speculation is rife as to what we will see. All signs seem to point to the Argent tournament and the possibility of mounts. However, how's that going to work? My friends and I have been discussing the possibility of them adding more anti-aggro mechanics. I was wondering what your thoughts on the matter are. I think the current ladder system and other factors are making it so that aggro and fast tempo decks are dominating. The face is the place is becoming a normal tactic, forcing players to overtech and pray or give in and play face themselves. So we were discussing possible mechanics could be introduced to counter the influx of face decks and bring some more balance to the force. I mean ladder. See, there's a Star Wars reference. I don't take them all out.
Boom.
So the 3 suggestions that we liked are the trample mechanic from Magic, which he doesn't go into detail because apparently you and Garrett can do a better job of explaining it anyway. The Watcher mechanic, not sure if it has an actual name, but basically is taking the principle of the Ancient Watcher, but having the taunt mechanic already activated on it, meaning you can have a strong early game taunt that isn't game breaking, as it can't attack without being silenced, and semi-penalizes the face deck if it wants to silence your taunt, because bypassing your taunt gives you a stronger board in the process.
A lot of times
finally,
a lot of times those are called walls in Magic.
There you go. And finally, the bodyguard mechanic may have other names, but the way I heard it is that the minion has a text, which means whilst the minion is on board, damage done to your face, either by minions or spells, is also reflected fully or partially back at the opponent's face/minion. See eye for an eye on steroids. And Jocelyn does approve. I felt that it would be great tools to help fight the aggro. At the same time, it would not kill it off. I'd love to know what your thoughts are and whether you thought these types of tools are needed, or am I just not using the current tools correctly? Love the show. Keep up the good work, and may your portals always be legendary. So, I mean, I don't necessarily think you're using the current tools incorrectly. I don't necessarily think aggro decks are a problem. To me, you kind of nailed it right at the very beginning with the fact that it's the way that ladder is currently built, that if you're not playing up in legend ranks, then it makes it really, really difficult to do anything like control and make any reasonable progress. So, I mean, you do see pretty much aggro at the lower ranks, and that is really not so fun.
Sure. No, I agree. I do like the idea of, like, I think there is definitely a way to add some mechanics that will slow things down just a little bit, but you also got to be careful. You can't make them too powerful. And, trample...
Okay, so first of all, what is trample? Because I think I basically remember / understand, but you should.
So basically, to put in the context of Hearthstone, imagine 2 minions hit each other. So imagine my minion has 4 attack, your minion has 2 health. So I kill it, and that 2 extra damage that wasn't done to that minion because it only had 2 health goes through to your face. That would be trample.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. Okay, I do.
So
remember this
damage that would be technically overkill goes through to your opponent.
Yeah, so that you would essentially be hitting face as well as the minion. But first of all, I think trample is not good in Hearthstone because the way Hearthstone works. The reason why it works so well in Magic is because if you have a creature with trample, that creature gets healed back to full at the end of the turn. So after it's done with its attack, it's back to full health. Whereas in Hearthstone, like the types of creatures you could actually get any realistic like value out of trample would have to be creatures with a bunch of health. Yeah. That don't die after 1 or 2, like can actually do it a couple of times. Or this might even help aggro decks. Like, oh, well, you have a taunt. Well, I just have this crazy card with trample, and then I buff it to all kinds of crazy attacks, and I hit your taunt, and I still get a bunch of damage to your face, right? So I don't think trample's really going to work in Hearthstone just because of the way the game actually plays out and the game works.
Yeah, and also it would on certain cards it would just speed up the game even more. Imagine if a Frothing Berserker had
doesn't matter if I
had trample and you had a taunt up, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it would. The one thing I could see is it would incentivize trading because you not only clear the board but also get some face damage in as well. So I could see it being somewhat of a valuable asset for control decks where the problem they have isn't controlling the board. The problem they have is actually killing you once they've got the board, right? But I don't know. To me, like that doesn't seem correct as far as an answer. The Watcher mechanic is kind of interesting. I don't know if that's necessarily the answer
like this
either.
One.
But it's I mean, I think it's like silencing a taunt and having that be like so much value that it gets when it gets silenced. If there is some sort of a drawback to that, could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean I compared it to a wall in Magic, which isn't necessarily the same thing because really taunt doesn't exactly exist in Magic. You can choose to block, and usually walls in Magic have so much health and little to no attack value that you always
they're
just
there
block
not
with
to trade. They're there just to protect you.
Yeah, and chat room's making a good point that walls almost never see tournament play in Magic outside
they're not
of outside of limited.
Sure.
There's games where you just have to play it because that's how it works.
Yeah.
Some of my best limited decks have had a wall or two in them. Usually just one. But no, I'd like to something like that. I mean, you've got Shield Bearer, who's just a 0/4, and he's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. The problem really is it's that I think aggro is going to be king in Hearthstone for while the ladder is in existence, just because of that, like you said, Jocelyn. So there's not really any way to fix that without actually fixing the ladder, and that doesn't necessarily mean fixing cards. But I don't think that necessarily the cards are the problem at all here. I don't think more mechanics is really going to fix it. There's just a meta based around what people are trying to accomplish, and if the goal was just to have a higher win rate, that's what happens when you get to top 100 legend. Is people do start playing Handlock and Control Warrior and much slower decks because they're just trying to win more. They don't need to win faster. They just need to win more often. So, that's really the issue.
Yeah. I agree. Fix ladder, please.
Long live control. We need more control decks. There are not enough of them.
Yeah.
Not enough of them at the moment. So, good email. Don't usually make them that long, people, but good email.
And I cut stuff out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm
really,
going to
long.
have to say goodbye a little early, you guys. I'm sorry. We're past 8:30 anyway, but I got a phone call here and I got to take care of something.
Oh, alrighty then.
Yeah, but we got through all the emails while I was here.
Yeah.
Yay.
Go listen to all my stuff, all the things. Cool. So sorry to leave so quickly.
Bye, Dills.
Happy birthday, Jocelyn. Bye.
Thank you.
We were at the end of the show anyway.
We were.
Well, fine. We'll get through without his chuckle fits. Or I'm trying to think of something funny. I'm tired.
And I'm about to be everywhere. Just give it a
you are.
second.
You are. Just I've got my my cursor on the thing with the stuff. Actually, I can force this. There we go. And then bing, smaller jaws, turn off my camera and move you up. There it is. Cool. Video is fixed. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the show. As always, the Angry Chicken is supported by our delightful patrons over at patreon.com/TAC. That's where you can go if you want to support the show. It's not required. The show's always going to be free, but we really do appreciate the support, and we love our patrons. Thank you so much. Hope to get to talk to many of you tomorrow during our Hangout episode for July. This week, however, we'd like to thank Trevor P., Thomas B., Chris D., Daniel S., Andrew S. Thank you all so much for supporting the Angry Chicken. You get one of these.
Hype.
Because we are so hyped. You get a Jocelyn hype. Also, if you're leaving us 5-star reviews in the iTunes store, we really appreciate that because that also helps the show out a lot. So this week, thank you to Sparwa, who says, have ears? Put this in them. Love it.
I love that.
Thank you to 4 Strings FTL, who says, love the show, make it longer. No, I'm very tired right now, so I just can't. I can't. Maybe one day it'll be 2 days a week. Who knows? Who knows what the Patreon will bring at some point. Thank you to Abysso Pelagian, who says, hype chicken.
Hype.
I didn't have that queued up. Thank you to Tony22. Thank you to Corpse Dancer. Thank you for your iTunes reviews. Really appreciate it. As always, The Angry Chicken is a production of AveMove.tv and FrogPants.com. All of our past live shows and other videos, including Jocelyn and I duking it out in this week's Tavern Brawl, can be found on youtube.com/StarcastShow. Our t-shirt, the Angry Chicken t-shirt, is over at slashloot.com. Go pick one up, wear it to Nerdtacular. And Jocelyn and I, if you really want me to, I'm not that cool, will sign it. It will be awesome. Except the part where I sit there and go, are you sure you want me to do this? Follow us on Twitter at TAC Podcast. Catch us live on Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/AMoveTV or on alphageekradio.com. And big thanks to BrianGriffithMusic.com for our intro music. Dills, where can people find you? You're not here. At Willie Dills, and that's all you're getting because you left. Jocelyn, where can people find you?
They can find me right here on AMove TV every Wednesday night for the Gamers In. We go live at, this is a test, 7 p.m. Eastern, I think. We just switched to Wednesdays not that long ago, and I'm still not 100% used to the time because it's different night and different time. So, anyways, Wednesdays. It'll be tweeted. Speaking of, you can find me on Twitter at GISGamer. And if you guys want to hang out with me tomorrow for my birthday, I'm going to be streaming after we do the patron hangout. So, going to be playing some Depth and some Smite and whatever the hell else I feel like because it's my birthday.
Nice. I'll
So
be
come
doing.
join.
I'll be doing Into the Nexus after that because I'm leaving, so I have to record it early.
Sad face.
Doing a lot of podcasts tomorrow. You can find me on Twitter at GarrettArt. I am over at nomoonart.com. Also, that's my graphic design portfolio. Check that out. I'm on Into the Nexus talking about Heroes of the Storm, but doing one of those tomorrow. And that'll do it. Check out our sponsors, doghouse-systems.com. Code to use is TAC. You'll get a 120 gigabyte solid-state drive added to your rig. They're amazing. I have one in mine. I love it. That's all there is to it. They're great rigs. Go check them out. DocHouseSystems.com. Get a great computer, support the show, get a free hard drive. It's that simple. Now that has sounded like a cheesy commercial, I will move to closing the show. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week. I will see you I'll see you tomorrow, but then I'll see you in a few weeks' time since I'll be out of town. But until then, job's done.
Job's done. Hype.